Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have the Poof Point. Yes, this is a Disney Channel original film, original movie. I don't know if film is the right term, but it's from 2001. It's an hour and 20 minutes long, and it is definitely a Disney Channel original movie. It's got all the hallmarks of that early 2000s um, Disney Channel movie style that I've learned. I never watched Disney Channel during that era myself because I'm an adult and I have been for a very long time, and so I never saw these. This is all brand new to me. But some of you grew up in this, maybe. If there's anybody slightly younger than me watching this, um, yeah, this is a story about two kids who have super smart scientific parents, and they are really frustrated with how much they are ignored most of the time. They're ready for their junior high graduation, and their parents are way too busy trying to make a time travel machine in just the weirdest way. Like they're about to send goldfish back to see the Gettysburg Address. Like what? How would that work? And how would you know that they did that? And what would happen when they would show up in the past in not in a body of water like a bowl or whatever? What makes no sense. But of course, the parents get stuck in this instead, and they get zapped, and they suddenly start traveling through time, but within their own bodies. So suddenly these very stuffy parents who just don't understand children, their rap music and everything else, and it just doesn't make any sense. They're just so disconnected from normal reality that they have no connection with their kids. Their kids just they embarrass their kids whenever they go out. They have no way of communicating with other adults their own age. Even they're just so in their own heads and so self-absorbed when it comes to their science that they've cut themselves off from everything. But suddenly, when they get de-aged down to 21, now it's the same actors who are just playing younger, and their clothes might change a little bit when they choose to change their clothes. But yeah, it's the same actors. By the way, it's Dawn Lewis and Mark Curry, who you might know from Hanging with Mr. Cooper. So they have a good history of working off each other. But the main actor in this is Taj Mowry, which you might know as the younger brother of the Mowry sisters, the twins, whatever show they're on. I don't know. They have a bunch of Disney stuff themselves on this thing, on this Disney Plus thing. So it's Taj and his sister Marie, played by Raquel Lee. Raquel Lee, yeah, Raquel Lee, and so the two of them. And Taj is well versed in all this. He's the most. I'd say he's the most competent actor out of all of them. Not that they're all anybody is horrible, but it's just he expresses himself well, especially frustration and elation and everything else. Um, Mom and Dad have the biggest job because they have to act younger with each successive wave. They jump from 21 down to 14, down to 7, then they're 2, and it keeps going. Well, until they reach the Poof Point, which is a horrible name if you're a scientist. I just don't. It's silly, but it's non-threatening. I guess it's not scary. Uh, so yeah, there's if they keep de-aging, they're just gonna disappear from reality, like to the point where they don't exist, because that's how science works. That's how we all work, especially if we're traveling backwards in time within our own bodies. And each time they go back, they don't remember who they were previously in the future. Like they don't know that they have kids. They don't realize that when they're 21, they're married. They've been married for 6 months, and stuff is still new, and it's they're still very romantic. And by the way, you think that maybe they might look in the mirror and go, oh man, we are not 21, we're not 14. No, for some reason they see themselves in the mirror as they appeared back at that age. So when they're in the 80s, when they're 21, they see themselves dressing pretty much like Prince and Apollonia, I guess. I don't know. It's either way. It's it's the 70s or it's the 80s. Again, this is from 2020, so 2021. No, sorry, 20. It's from 2001. Good grief, it's 20 years old. Yeah, so and the 80s is 20 years before that. So yeah, it's real goofy, real. It's silly. It has a purpose because through this whole experience, the kids get to know their parents in new ways. Seeing them when they weren't so self-obsessed, so self-absorbed in science, when they were more romantic with each other, where they were more, especially when they turn 14, you see their insecurities when they're on the same age level as their own kids. Uh, they really connect in ways that they had no idea. That their parents were normal kids at one point. And when they become 7, that's when they suddenly become the parents. They become the babysitter. They become the authority, which they realize is not an easy job. And everything else is unraveling around them. There's manipulative kids who invite themselves over for a party at their place, and then other kids who want Taj plays Eddie. Eddie wants to be in a band called the Urban Slugs, I guess. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Eddie wants to be in a band, and the band comes over, and there's a whole crowd of people, of 132 kids apparently. Yeah, it's all just everything hitting at once. Of course, there's nosy neighbors who want to run these people out of the neighborhood. Those people out of the neighborhood. It doesn't. I realize. I'm sure they were very much aware of the fact that this is a family of color in a neighborhood where the parents have to go. Well, they're just hooliganism and they're just causing trouble, and we must have. We're going to call the neighborhood group and have them evicted from the neighborhood. Like, you can do that. Even so, it just is really suspect when you're just being vague as to why you're getting rid of them, because they're hooligans. Well, in the era of Karens, and with so many caught on camera videos of people calling white people calling the police on people who are not causing any harm, people of color who are not causing any harm. Yeah, that part of this has not aged well, but it's funny to a certain degree. I think my skin tone allows me to say that's funny, where it's some other people might not find it too funny. But there was no ill intent. There was no. I don't think there was ever any concept in their mind that this would be offensive, and it's not. It's just you can see the parallels pretty strongly. So yeah, this is by far not a great movie, but it's got its silly charm. And so if you grew up with this kind of thing, it might be time to revisit it, maybe 20 years later, and see if it still holds up. It probably doesn't, but if you want to watch just one of the weirdest, silliest things, one of the things that I found just most cringy is all the weird techno babble that they just wasn't probably scripted. They just started, well, the positronic matrix and the they just started saying sciencey sounding things back and forth to each other, the parents, and yeah, it's so silly. It's like some of those things actually exist, but not in this sense. It's kind of funny. So yeah, it's I would recommend this only if you were drunk or you want to revisit your childhood, or both. I don't know if kids today would get into this unless they're really, really young, because it is funny to see the actors who play the parents, just going for it. I mean, honestly, they own it. They're just going for it, playing these kids. It's not a choice that many actors would make. So, yeah. Seeing Dawn and Mark just being kids. It's quite an experience. So yeah, I never had heard of this movie before, and now I know that at some point, hopefully, this will be pushed out of my brain in the near future. Completely. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
304.
304. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, all right. Well, this is going to be easy. I think it's a classic. It's from one of the original characters from Disney. It's Male Dog, starring Pluto. So yeah. All right. Well, that's easy enough. After all the shark documentaries and long movies, it's good to have a short again. Although we did have 3 shorts recently in a row, which was interesting. But tomorrow, we're going to be watching Male Dog on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. See you back here tomorrow with that.